Today I will be going over basic architectural styles. My name is Daniel Hanover and I am in CMGT 1220. We'll be going over the Mediterranean Revival, Middle Eastern, Minimal Traditional, Mission, Modernistic, Monterey, Moorish Fantasy, National, Neoclassical, Neoclassical Revival, Neo-Colonial, Neo-Dutch Colonial, Neo-French, and Neo-Mediterranean. We're going to begin with Mediterranean Revival. The Mediterranean Revival style and architecture is based upon capturing the feel of a Mediterranean villa. It became popular in the United States in the 1920s and 30s for the wealthy and led in the building to seaside resorts, most prominently in Florida and California areas. So most of the resorts along the coastline kind of appear this way. Next is the Middle Eastern architectural look. They include spheres, as you can see in this picture here, with spirals and towers, all of which use lights as a major design element, and they're castle-like geometric forms. So I'm going to get my highlighter or laser point. You can see the domes here with columns and the points on each one of these domes. Next we have minimal traditional, which is prominent from 1925 to 1950. They're often smaller homes, 1 to 1.5 story, low to medium pitched hip or gable roof. They're narrow and boxed eaves. Windows may be single or double hung, often with 2 over 2 horizontal panes. Windows may wrap corners, and doors are often flat panels with small glass windows. They're simple and they have built-in cabinetry. Next is the Mission style, also known as California Mission and Mission Revival. It was inspired from the arts movement in the early 20th century, inspired from Spanish Franciscan mission churches in the southwestern U.S., popular from the 1900s and 1940s. And personally, I've lived in San Diego and the southwestern U.S., and it's all over that area. Being in the military, the Marine Corps boot camp in San Diego, all their buildings are this style. Next is the modernistic. It has been described to be the single most important style for architecture in the 20th century. It's asymmetrical composition, use of general cubic and cylindrical shapes, flat roofs, use of reinforced concrete, metal and glass frameworks, often resulting in large windows and horizontal bands. Monterey, started in Monterey, California. The Larkin House, which is pictured here, was the inspiration for the movement, also called Monterey Colonial and Monterey Revival. They're two-story structures that were in stark contrast to all the single-story Spanish colonial homes of the area, and they typically have an exterior balcony. Moorish Fantasy. It reached its height of popularity in the mid of the 19th century, popular amongst theaters and synagogues around the world utilizing this style. Uh, Commonly used for shrine or hospitals like the one above in the slide. And it was adopted by Jews of Central Europe originally, and they feature Islamic-like arches and domes. If you look here, you have the dome and arches in the entrances. The national style of architecture is a universal fashion for public buildings, churches, banks, and town halls, also known as Greek Revival, and it was primarily used from 1825 to 1860. Next, neoclassical, based to a varying extent on the antique forms of Greek architecture and Roman architecture. Claimed to be the world's most popular style of building, began in 1640. Most famous, probably in the United States, is the U.S. Capitol building, as you can see here. They feature a lot of pillars, and once again, you have domes. And it kind of has that Roman feel to it. Neoclassical revival followed the peak of neoclassical style of architecture, defined by a commanding facade with a full-height porch, its roof supported by classic columns. The columns are often fluted. It's symmetrical. Porches are common in the front and typically 1 to 2 stories. Neocolonial. Its popularity started from 1940 to present. Partial width porch supported with classical columns. Elaborate door surroundings. Side lights common. Simulated multi-pane windows. Multiple hipped roofline. Dentils or small frieze. Tall windows common, sometimes arched. Temple-like entrance. Double hung windows with shutters. Palladian windows. It was overshadowed by the ranch and other modern style homes in the 50s and 60s. Neo-Dutch colonial combines attributes of the federal and colonial styles into romantic vision in modern construction. You'll find great rooms in gable roof lines, pairs with double hung windows, brick exteriors, and sometimes modern siding with a fake brick or stone. Side porches are common, and bay windows and shutters are also common in this. Models came in 1 to 2 and sometimes 3-story homes. Neo-French is 1970 to present. Most characteristic feature is the steeply pitched hipped roof. Doors and windows are frequently round and segmented arch above. So you can see all the arches in the windows and the doors here. And finally, the Neo-Mediterranean. It's from 1970 to present. Low pitch roofs, multiple levels, red roof tiles, stucco siding, arches above doors and windows once again, carved wood doors, large patios, and 2 to 3 stories typically. If there's any questions, please contact me with the email provided. Here are some of my references. The rest of my references.